Good morning, students. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to discuss the third part of the unit Glimpses of India. Glimpses of India, the third unit. We have read the second one, that is Kurg, and this is the third one, Tea from Assam, written by Arup Kumar Datta. Before I proceed to the lesson, students, I want to tell you something about the author. Students, this author, Arup Kumar Datta, is from Assam. He was born in Jorhat in the year 1946, and he is a very famous writer. He has written many novels, especially for children, and his novels are not only nationally popular but internationally popular. So famous that some of his novels were translated in other international languages such as German, Russian, Chinese, etc. So, interesting thing is that we are going to read a lesson written by such a famous writer who is from our own land. In this lesson, Tea from Assam, okay, we have some important characters here. The first one is Pranjal, who is a young boy from Assam. Then we have his friend Rajveer, who is Pranjal's classmate, who comes to Assam for a visit. Then Pranjal's parents and his parents, his father, Mr. Barua. So these are the characters here, and it's a very interesting lesson. You will learn so many facts in this lesson which you may not be knowing. So I hope you will find this lesson interesting. So as usual, I'll read out some lines from the lesson and then I'll explain it to you. So let me tell you the situation here. Pranjal is from Assam and his friend Rajveer, he's from Delhi. Now Pranjal and Rajveer both are classmates studying together in a school in Delhi. Pranjal's father is a manager at a tea garden in Upper Assam, and Pranjal has invited his friend Rajveer to visit his home during the summer vacation. So the story begins with the train in which both were traveling, reaching a station where a vendor was calling out chai garam, garam chai, like that, which is very common voice at the railway stations. He was speaking in a high-pitched voice. Even if someone is in sleep, they can wake up easily. So some of them, they have a very high-pitched voice which pierces into your ears and it makes you awakened. He came to their window and asked, "Chai Saab, give us 2 cups, Pranjal said. So the vendor was at the platform, not inside the train. He came near the window where Pranjal and Rajveer were sitting, and he asked them that, "Chai Saab, sir, do you need tea?" And Pranjal replied, "Give us 2 cups, Pranjal said. They sipped the steaming hot liquid. Almost everyone in their compartment was drinking tea too. So, how we drink tea? We sip. Different ways of drinking. Okay? Like when you drink tea, you sip. When you drink warm water, you sip. But when you drink water, just drink it. You just gulp it. No? Gulp the water. So here it's sipping. They sipped the tea, hot liquid, and at that time, maybe that was at the right time the tea vendor came. It was a time when everyone usually needs to have tea. So almost everyone in the compartment was sipping tea. Do you know that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world? Rajveer said. Then Rajveer told him a fact. Rajveer told him that, do you know, more than 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. Now, his friend Rajveer had so many important facts with him. Actually, Pranjal is from Assam. He should be having all those informations, but here the situation is a little opposite. Rajveer, who stays in Delhi, he has all these informations. He says that 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. View, exclaimed Pranjal. Tea really is very popular. And Pranjal said, tea is really very popular. That is why. The train pulled out of the station. Pranjal buried his nose in his detective book again. Rajveer too was an ardent fan of detective stories, but at the moment he was keener on looking at the beautiful scenery. So the train moved out of the station. After that, Pranjal got involved in reading his detective book. Once again, he was completely involved in reading that. Rajveer was also a great fan of detective stories, but at that time, he kept that interest aside and he preferred to look out of the window and have a view of the beautiful scenery, because he was coming to Assam for the first time, and whatever he saw around, that was very fascinating for him. It was green, green everywhere. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery before. Then the soft green paddy fields gave way to tea bushes. So there was greenery everywhere. Rajveer had never seen so much greenery before, because we can understand he lived in a city and it's very difficult to find such places in a city. And then slowly that green paddy fields, for some time he could see a lot of paddy fields together, green stretched to a far distance, and then they came across some tea gardens. No, so paddy fields were replaced by tea gardens. You could see tea bushes. It was a magnificent view, very, very magnificent, very beautiful, fascinating to view it. Against the backdrop of densely wooded hills, a sea of tea bushes stretched as far as the eye could see. There were densely wooded hills. Against that, a vast area was covered with tea bushes. As far as the eye could see, only tea bushes could be seen. Dwarfing the tiny tea plants were tall, sturdy shade trees, and amidst the orderly row of bushes, busily moved doll-like figures. Now, the tea plants, amidst of the tea plants, there were some shady trees, and there were, if you visit a tea garden, you will know it nicely. Tea is planted in rows, and in between that rows, some doll-like figures were moving, busily moving there. Doll-like figures. Now let me tell you, look like dolls, and they were actually the women. Especially women are employed in the tea gardens, and their duty is to pluck the tea leaves. So they pluck the tea leaves, take it to the factory where tea is made. So they are appointed for plucking tea leaves, and from a distance, it looked as if some doll-like figures, dolls, were moving in between the rows of the tea bushes. So when it was viewed from a far distance, everything, if you view from a far distance, the things appear smaller than they actually are. So they were appearing small because Rajveer was viewing it from the window of a train, and there were shady trees also. Doll-like figures were moving in between the rows. In the distance was an ugly building and smoke billowing out of tall chimneys. At a distance, he could see a building which looked like a factory, which had a chimney, and smoke was coming out of the tall chimney. Have you seen a brick factory? You will find a tall chimney is attached, and you will find whenever work is going on, you will find the smoke released high up in the air. So like that building was also releasing smoke. Hey, a tea garden, Rajveer cried excitedly. Pranjal, who had been born and brought up on a plantation, didn't share Rajveer's excitement. So Rajveer was very excited. He said, see, look, there is a tea garden. But his friend Pranjal was not very excited because his father was a manager at a tea garden. He was born and brought up there. So that one didn't have much impact on him. And for him, he didn't share the excitement with his friend. Oh, this is tea country now, he said. Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world. You will see enough gardens to last you a lifetime. Then Pranjal said, oh, now we have entered a place. Now we have come to a place which is a tea country now. And do you know Assam has the largest number of plantations, concentration of plantations. And you will see enough gardens which will take you a lifetime to watch if you watch all the gardens. That's what he replied. I have been reading as much as I could about tea, Rajveer said. No one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. Then Rajveer told him, I've been reading a lot, as much as I can, about tea. And then he added, he said that no one really knows who discovered tea, but there are many legends. Means some stories, folk stories, traditional stories, which are passed from one generation to the another orally. So there are some stories like that, but it's very difficult to find out who has first discovered tea. Students, for the remaining part, I'll make a next video, or else this video will be very long and it may become boring for you to watch such a long video. So I'll make another video for you. In this video, I'll discuss only this much. I want you to watch the full video so that you understand. Read the lines carefully. This is a conversation, okay? This story is in the conversation form, dialogue form. Characters are speaking to each other. In that way, the information is shared. So go through this portion nicely, read it nicely, and any doubts or any problems, you can discuss that in the comment box. I'll obviously attend to that. Thank you so much for watching this video.